Hi. We've had a lot of discussions with respect to B2C or business to consumer use cases of Handshake. Today, I thought, why not talk about a B2B use case of Handshake? The reason for that being Handshake, to ensure that the internet does not get broken, reserved a lot of important names on the internet, and that includes a lot of colleges, that includes a lot of companies, that includes a lot of entities who have their top names as reserved on the Handshake blockchain as top level domains, which can be claimed for free. And if you want to know more, you can just check out one of our videos that specifically deals with the subject. Today, I want to talk about one of the benefits of claiming your name and building systems around it. And one of the most important systems that you can build with Handshake TLDs are access control systems for corporate entities. Typically, access control systems can be very expensive, tedious, time consuming, and usually is the domain of large multinational corporations. But now, if you can really intelligently use Handshake TLDs, they can, even if you're a startup or a medium level enterprise, you can build an access control system that is as effective or probably even more effective than what one of these big guys have. And the way to go about it is to first claim your name and then host a server where you put these TLD on. Now, that serves as your company's or entity's root zone. Now you could create subdomains on it, basis departments. So you could have, say, HR dot your company name, finance dot your company name. Suppose Agaamin were to build it, so then there would be finance dot Agaamin, marketing dot Agaamin, HR dot Agaamin, product dot Agaamin, engineering dot Agaamin, and so on and so forth. And once you've broken up your company into these various subdivisions, you could then issue user IDs to people who have then restricted access to those areas only. So, say an HR person would have access to only hr.agamin and so on and so forth. You could also use it to, even track the logs for security purposes as to who's logging in when and who's not logging in and what content they're consuming, what content they are not accessing. So it gives you that whole 360-degree option to break your company into subdomains, then decide on access for those subdomains for your employees, and then track their activities on those subdomains so that you can manage and track your sensitive content or maybe your intellectual property or whatever that is. So this is an interesting use case that just occurred to me the other day, and something that has not been spoken much about in the Handshake context. But I think this is a very strong case, and more companies should be told about it. And even for large companies who have their own access control systems, depending on the nature of your company, it offers you certain options. Today, if you see, companies are built offline, and then they use a domain name to point to that offline content, or I wouldn't say offline, but content that is resting on a server and has an IP address. So it's online, but for all practical purposes, not really online because people don't know how to get there. So you use your name to kind of point to that content that's just there. But with a Handshake TLD, and if you build an access control system using Handshake names, then you're actually building a company literally on the internet. Every user ID, every subdomain can resolve through DNS. It can travel the internet via a browser. Now, of course, I understand that all companies don't need that, and in some cases, it may not even be advisable. But there are many entities who could benefit from a feature like that. Uh, yeah, access control systems with Handshake is a very strong use case in the B2B space, and I encourage everyone out there, if you know of companies or entities whose names are reserved on it, you should bring it to their notice so they can claim it, which is free, and start building. Thank you.